Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for my podcast show, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. Today, I'm doing something special. I'm having both of my podcast shows sponsor a particular topic regarding literacy reading. I have always been a passionate reader ever since I was in my younger years as a child, and even now. I always felt that reading is one of the most important things that we all should do and incorporate that to the next generation. So today I have Educator Mathias Tulasi. He's from Ghana, and so I'm broadcasting this. So it's going to be on my other podcast show, Surviving Your Journey to a Success, and of course here on my Short Stories podcast, which Short Stories is reading. And let's get started. And I was asking you, what are some of the roadblocks for children and adults? And you mentioned the different programs you had. You talked about you have one particular program to encourage pregnant women to read to their children even when they're pregnant. I think that's wonderful. Yeah. You talked about that. What else can you expand on that? The question and what you were referring to, the other programs and the mission to start early and the importance of reading. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much. Like I did indicated, children are supposed to acquire basic literacy and numeracy skills before they start school, but that is not the case. So like I indicated, you get to a school, maybe 40 people in a class, only 3 can read. The rest cannot read. Even the 3 that can read, the reading is problematic, but we say that only 3 can read. So we are saying that what parents are supposed to do by making sure that their children acquire basic literacy and numeracy skills before they start school is not there. So a lot of the school pupils cannot read, and if these people cannot read, it means that they are, so that's the roadblock. So we have been trying to first promote an interest in reading. So when we are able to promote that interest, then the children will have love for reading, and they spend a lot of time with their parents. So we have to promote adult literacy. So the work must mostly be done by parents, but they are put on teachers. Some are not getting it right. So we are trying to tell them that as parents, they are the number one teachers, which is not helping. So we have to educate them so that they will be able to help them to. Some of them too, they want to do it, but they.
So basically, because I know there was an audio delay right quick, but basically what you were saying is that you're promoting for, because I know we're speaking, he's speaking from Ghana and I'm in the United States, so there's going to be some lag in the audio, but I'm going to make sure that your message is communicated to those who are listening that can be motivated. So basically what you were saying is that your school and you are one of the 4 leaders there promoting literacy and reading basics from the beginning before they enter school, and other programs that you having where it's important to do those small blocks forward in a sense of finding ways to encourage and motivate the parents and the community, right? Because a village is basically family. The importance to start at a young age. I agree.
Yes. So literacy should become a family culture. You understand?
A family culture.
And then,
I love that.
Yes, literacy must be a family culture. And then to add to that, when you get to the kindergarten schools that prepare the children to start primary school and stuff, a lot of the schools cannot even boast of a common laptop and a projector where they can use it to show these phonics videos to the school people. They don't have, Meanwhile, reading must be done through phonics and those things, but they do not have a laptop, they do not have a projector, a speaker and those things to project or show these phonetic videos and sounds and things to the school people at that tender age. So the reading is so dry, there is no motivating factor, but if the schools can acquire those things and then they can show the children these phonic videos and all these things, it also promote an interest. But majority of the school cannot boast of a single laptop, let alone projector and a speaker to show those phonics videos to the school people. So when we go for programs at times, we carry projector and those things along, and then we show them these phonics videos and the later sounds, and they are so happy and stuff. Are you getting the whole thing? So from the government part and then from the parents, a lot are not being done so well. And not until we're able to get those things right, issues of literacy promotion will be difficult. And then it will make the children not to be able to acquire these basic skills that we are talking about. And we are saying that reading is the key to learning. And if the children cannot read, it means that in a way, their block kind of this, they cannot do so well in the academics. And those that can read and understand, they'll be able to do so well. So you have to look at it from the part of government, and then from the part of especially the parents and all those, and then all the stakeholders must play their role as far as reading is concerned.
Yes, I totally agree.
So to play and the doctors, when we are having the program for this,
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Okay, so like when we are having the program for the pregnant women, the workshop, as in reading to the unborn child, we do work with nurses and doctors who also come to talk to the parent, the pregnant women about the importance of reading to the unborn child, to buttress the advocacy work that we are doing. And a lot do not know that even when you are pregnant in the second trimester, you have to read to the unborn child. They do not know. So through these workshops, they get to know. I was reading on Finland, where I read that when pregnant women, they go to the antenatal for the first time, they are giving storybooks, interesting storybooks to take home for free on the part of government, and basically I realized that is just to promote the read aloud to the unborn child. So we are also hoping to get there one day.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be wonderful. And also, they can sing music with the unborn, the unborn child work, because that definitely goes in deep in the spiritual, in a sense, and even physical. The baby can hear that, and so reading as well. It all plays. Yeah, you can do it before the child is born. Right.
Yes.
Right.
A lot do not know about that. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They're thinking after, but actually it can definitely help while you're pregnant, and continue to do that. And I like how you use the word, the basic, literacy basics, and you mentioned the word phonetics. And I know I learned years ago, a teacher had told me, when you want to teach someone how to read, the importance of phonetics is important, or they won't be able to read. And I never thought that would really connect at that time, but I always learned, no matter who was telling you knowledge or wisdom, is just to write it down and remember that. I never forgot that. So for you to touch on that now reinforces that importance. So you got to put all that on the table, mix it up like a good meal, and sometimes you have to spoon feel when the person on the other end you're trying to help, as you mentioned, the younger. When they're younger, they don't know. But if you put them in their belly at the beginning, when they first, starting life or what have you, they get to learn it and understand. And I love how you mentioned that I love all the strategies that you're doing. When you said your program, and you said I got your notes that you said, you basically said reading is so dry, but no motivation or factor. So using visual with pictures and stories and music. And I think that's wonderful. And sometimes I know people get bored, or they, kids, they want to I want to do this. But if you use some interactive tools, they get their attention, and then before they know it, they fall in love with reading, and then they just take off like a rocket. But you have to plant those seeds. So I love all these things that you're saying that y'all doing. Let me ask you this other question. If you could describe the level of reading worldwide in 4 words, what would they be that needed to change the course of the discussion we're really talking about is literacy? If you can describe worldwide, I know you mentioned your school in Ghana and so forth, and you mentioned another place where their government is offering a particular program, and hopefully Ghana can do the same. But worldwide, where do you think, in your perspective, the importance of reading and literacy? Do you think it's getting worse from not children but adults? What do you see worldwide? The importance of
worldwide, I would say that the European countries are doing so well than those of us in Africa worldwide, because I have gotten a lot of my motivation from other literacy advocates that I follow on Twitter, and I'm motivated by the work they do, and that also helps me to do the more that I'm doing here. But in Africa, you see that culture, the reading culture, is not the reading is not a family culture. So it's like the level is low compared to Europe. Europe is far better than in Africa. Are you getting the whole thing? So you realize that also illiteracy and poverty, they are in a vicious circle. Understand? So you realize that in Africa, we have poverty in Africa than in Europe. And the basic reason is that in Europe, they read more than Africa. And if you want to reduce poverty, then you have to promote literacy, then you will reduce poverty. But because in Africa, we don't do much of the reading, there's more poverty in Africa than in Europe. Are you getting the whole thing? So I think that in Europe is far better than in Africa. And then we need a lot of people to have devotion in like we are doing so that we can be able to expand the work so that a lot of people can acquire these basic skills. Are you getting the whole thing? So on the whole, I'll say that in Europe is far better than in Africa. And we hope that as a lot of people come into this area and they are willing to promote literacy and stuff, it will help in maybe some few years to come. It will be far better. Every home, like every parent will be educated. At least they can do the basic reading and writing skills. And then also, we have also realized that as part of when people want to get married, we are also planning to meet pastors and then to also try to, as part of the counseling, they have to let them know that as parents, one of the core duties that they have to do is that when they give birth, they have to promote reading among their children. It should be part of the counseling they give to couples who want to marry. And then those of them who cannot read and write, then we have to find a way and make sure that we acquire them with those literacy skills so that when they become couple and they give birth, they can help their children listen. So I'll say that it's not that bad, but then in Europe, it is far better than in Africa. In Africa, Europe, people have a lot of books there. In Africa, a lot of their children in our schools, when you go, you can't even get interesting storybooks. A lot of the schools do not have books today. A lot of the schools in Africa do not have libraries. But in Europe, I know even you have community library and all those things for children. But in schools, a lot of the schools, they are without library. So you realize that over here is not as good as compared to that of Europe.
And I think what you touched on definitely is important. Poverty and literacy, I think, goes hand in hand because you have the survival instincts in play most of the time. And you don't really think that a road to get out of that is the power of reading and the power of understanding, because that's how you're able to develop the decision making, the thinking capability, and all the other things that come into play. It's unfortunate, but we have to kind of work together to identify the problems. So I think what you're doing in your schools and your support team is doing a wonderful job and continuing to focus forward that there are strategies, and we just have to remember, right? I don't believe that Africa was always to the point that what you're saying now, but it is what it is now. So we have to work together to be able to address, as we get so busy in surviving, we forget and remember what we used to do, right?
Exactly.
When Africa was in the position of that they were able to have a higher level of people that can read, from adults, from children, any age. So I think you're
very good.
Right, and I'm so happy that your program is saying sometimes we all, no matter where we are in the world, of where we live and our nationality, reach a point that we have to remember. We kind of got off track. Let's remember what works. So I think your program, especially when you were talking about the program with the pregnancy of the women, and then you talk about y'all work with nurses and doctors, because that's all the circle of the village, right? That we all can collect to. We have to help one another and reinforce and repeat. So I think what you're doing is excellent in your school. Let me talk about this. This question here I want to ask you, what are the immediate things your school require right now?
Thank you very much.
Right, but go ahead and talk about that.
Our school, we do not have a library. We do not have an ICT lab, and then we do not have a lot of, we don't have ICT lab, we don't have computers, we don't have a library, and then we do not have a lot of interesting storybooks for the pupils to read. As I indicated, we are 110, and then our primary school, they have about 200 school people in the primary, but with the JSS we are about 110. But then the primary do not have a library. The JSS too, we don't have a library. So we don't have an ICT lab. We don't have computers, and then we don't have books for the school people's interesting books for them to read. So that's the challenge.
Be the immediate need. Now to get into what we're going to be collaborating next month, starting February the 1st. This is the announcement, is that I approached Mathias about having a fundraiser where they can use it towards one of or all, hopefully, the things that you just mentioned that it's the immediate need. So I hope you will consider that. We would definitely have the website page set up. And then as well on my website, nichelanderson.com, I'm going to set up a particular website too. And of course, both of our social media, when we start highlighting and promoting and announcing this collaboration, it's going to be February the 1st, 2021 to March the 1st. And the school. So more information will be on that. And definitely on the immediate things too. I think if you want to just completely directly donate funds, monetary funds, or even books, or even things of that nature, or even collaborate at this stage, it could be a feast. But also, if you want to, I'm going to set up a way, work with Mathias, how if you want to donate directly, we'll set up that where it'll be easy for you to do, and it all this going straight to the school, nothing for me or nothing or whatever is going straight to the school. Is going, and then we'll set up a separate donation link where you can donate directly to the school as well. Because I think, because I'm really sure that anybody, whatever you can do, will help. And definitely when you said about the libraries, because that's where you migrate to. That's where the books are.
Exactly.
I think that's wonderful that you mentioned that and highlight that. That's important. And I'm praying and hoping that we'll be able to have that at your school. And then you mentioned the interesting books. You can donate books if you want to purchase them. I think that's great. And you talked about computers, whatever computers and printers or whatever they need tech-wise, that's good. And I think you mentioned a lab. You want to have like a laboratory as well. Did you mention that? Okay. All right. So those are the things of the immediate need. I would definitely have that highlighted in my podcast description as well. When we do the official announcement, we will have that listed on the poster and so forth, and we do that on social media. Let me go to the next question here. Or see, what factors are restricted in literacy in the household and other surrounding? What do you think overall restrict literacy in the household? I know you kind of touched on it earlier. Other things you can add to that?
Yeah. Thank you very much. This year, actually, our organization, we have declared the year to be National Year of Read Aloud. You understand? So we intended taking our activities to the various communities. You understand? Where maybe in the evening we can get to a community by 6:30, by 7 the people are gathered. We send our projector, our laptop. We project interesting these video stories, or we send script there. They read, they explain, we ask questions, then off we go. And then also to do programs through churches to acquire, to help parents to acquire basic literacy and what they have to do at home to be able to promote reading among their children. For instance, when you take the television is a good tool. But how parents should use TV at home to promote reading, they don't know. And they just allow the children to watch the TV the way they are not to watch it. And they spend all time watching television. And how they are to use the TV to even promote reading, parents do not know. So as part of our engagement with the parents in the various communities where chiefs, assemblymen, all opinion leaders, church members, they are involved, then we have the program for the parents, what they are to do at home. We meet the children, what they are to do as far as reading is concerned, the elderly ones, how they are to promote reading their siblings and all those things. You understand? So these are the programs that we intended doing. And if you're able to do this one, it will become a mass kind of thing. And every community must have its own literacy culture. There should be a literacy drive within every community. And the chiefs, the opinion leaders, the assemblymen, the church, they have to promote this. They should have a kind of, maybe if it's every month, there's a program by the fireside reading, anything. There should be something like that. You understand? So some of them do not know. Some of them too, they don't know how to go about it. So we have to send this information to them, empower them, encourage them so that there will be a drive, and then we're also trying to recruit a lot of colleague teachers to come on board so that they can join our organization. And then when we structure programs, we can be doing it in our respective places. You understand? So these are some of the things that we intended. But we have a lot of challenges. We don't have a vehicle that will move by. Anytime we are going to a place, we have to go to the station, hire a car before we go there. And all. So that one's also hindering our work, and we are not able to move like we intended moving. We're able to have maybe a picker with maybe a generator. We can just move to any village anytime we project our things, and then we start doing the programs. You understand? So these are some of the challenges that we have. We do not have enough logistics to work the way we expected. The energy is there, the vim is there, the zeal is there, but then we have these challenges. And then if you're able to have access to those things, it will make sure that our work will get to a lot of the communities and stuff. At times they will book us. It's like a community calls you, and then they are inviting for a program. If you are sending a team, you have to book up for them in and out. When you get there, you have to take care of the venue and other things. So if we do not have money on our own, we are not able to do a lot. Are you getting the whole thing? So these are some of the challenges that we have. We are ready to move to community A, community B, and be doing the program just like that. But the challenges are there. And then if we are able to get support, we can expand the work. It's just about information sharing, knowledge sharing with the people, equipping them, encouraging them what they have to do, and then it will make the whole country become a reading nation if you're able to do all these things. Because all the schools we have been to in the country, we have been to a lot of schools. At the time we get to a school, you are doing a program for about 500 school people, 300 school people, 350. When you go, so you have to come back again and all those things. We're always trying to do a program for school children, and in the community, you have to meet parents, you have to meet even Sunday school teachers. It is in our plan to meet various Sunday school teachers from various churches, so that we'll find out the approach they go about their Sunday school, how they help the children to read the text, the approach. If it's not good, then we adopt a good approach, so that what they'll be doing in church A is the same as church B, is the same as church C. You understand? But we need resources to be able to organize such meetings, and then we can share knowledge and information with the people.
And I was just going to ask you that other part. My next question is, what resources are out there now that you would need to help you with your programs, like you said? And I think if anybody's listening, that's a teacher or
for the resources, yes. For now, all we need will be a pickup and then a speaker, then projector, a laptop. That is all that we may need now, so that we can be able to move from one community to the other thing. We do not have a vehicle on us, so it's challenging. So we are not able to move like it's expected. Are you getting the whole thing? So if you're able to get a car, a pickup, and then a projector, you have this and then a generator, then those generator, projector, laptop, and a pickup, then we are good to go.
Set up everything. Move. Yeah, you can move more fast.
Yes.
You have the transportation.
We can do mobile. Yes.
Yeah.
Mobile. Yes. We have in the country. We have traveled on our own. We have been to a lot of schools. Plenty. We have been to a lot of schools. They are calling us. You have to come and. But those are the challenges, and that we got the lockdown in Ghana. About 9 months now, school people are home. They do not 9 months from April to now, about 9 months they are home. I was like, so to have car, I would just be moving every village to communities to engage children, but it's not like that. Are you getting the whole thing? Because we do a lot of the things on our own. If we do not have enough funds, we are not able to move and do our programs. But that one is not deterring us. But for us to expand our work, if you're able to get those logistics, we just moving from one distance, and then it to be so amazing. Are you getting me? So those are the challenges that we have for now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're more mobile, you can go in places.
Yes.
Further, but also other places in villages or towns and cities, and be able to connect more, keep you moving. I totally agree. All right. Yes. Now, I wanted to ask you, as we get towards the end of this podcast here, is to ask you about, in 3 words, if you can describe the future of literacy. What would they be? Well, it could be world.
I can say the future of the future is bright, and I believe that.
Especially listening to you motivate me. Anything is possible. The right determination. That's what you motivate me by listening to you just now when you was talking about, even though we don't have this and this resources, you still made it happen in over 100.
So we have to do a lot in literacy. Yes.
Yeah, I feel good about it too. Future. That it can only get better.
Yes.
Those like us is, committed, and those that are listening are committed to the importance of reading. no matter what culture or background that you have, to keep, having those programs can make a difference. I agree.
Yes.
Now, if you have to, I always ask my guests at the end of my show, so if you can share your motivational quote, like a motivational statement that either you do yourself or you read somewhere, what would
if I have to?
Yeah, what is a motivational quote or statement that you want to share?
Oh, my motivational statement would be, the future belongs to those who can create networks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The future belongs to those
who can create networks.
You said Netflix, Netflix.
Yeah, networks. As in links. Yeah.
You're gonna have to type that up so I can make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, the future belongs to those who can create networks.
But basically, at the end of the day, that's what the message: those who can create things that move us forward.
Networks or relations, connections, and stuff. Yeah, like how I'm connecting you now. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Making it happen. That's basically make it happen. Those that create to make it happen, to make the world go on.
But one person will link it to the other, and then the other person will link it to somebody. Yes, just like that. So you need to create relations,
right connections and relations that can build and can grow.
Exactly.
And it's about giving.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Mathias, I'm so happy that you joined me today. Thank you so much for all the technical issues there, but we got through it. I'm looking forward to starting this next journey where we are going to focus on, doing a fundraiser for the school and getting the things that you mentioned earlier, and also the resources that will expand your program and going to the communities and bringing these stories to children and the family.
Yeah, that's good.
So, everybody stay tuned for the announcement of that, and where you can go if you want to purchase the wine is also where you can go and contribute directly to the school and network and help Mathias and his team to get into the communities with those resources that he named that he would love to have. Yes. And I can go over that one more time. It doesn't hurt. So the immediate resources that he mentioned for the school is to have a library, and that's where the school, because there are several parts of the school. The primary school, you said, have 200 students. Your particular school where you at, which is the general education side, is about 110 students. And you said basically right there, y'all would like to have a library. Y'all like to have school books that you can read, so the children can read, and definitely some computers and all that technical stuff with computers as well. And I'd love to have a lab there at the school. Yeah. The other thing he mentioned about the resources to be able to expand his program, where they're going out and going to different schools, going to churches, really just trying to put the whole. I just felt so motivated by that, by y'all commitment. And he mentioned that those resources is like transportation, where they can actually pick up what they need and be able to get more mobile. He mentioned about having a speaker, and that can be a projector, as well. He mentioned as well as different teachers or support, and of course a laptop. Those are the immediate things that will help with the part of the programs. They have a lot of programs there, bless their heart, and they're putting it together the best way they can. And with the influx of supporting the fundraiser is going to start right here in the United States. We call that Black History Month, or History No Matter, because the whole year they're saying they focus on 2021, the importance of literacy, basically.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to do my part, and I think Mathias is a wonderful, wonderful human being, of being one of the full forces of reading. I love reading. And reading is the power of so much that can motivate us, inspire us, and we just need to remember, right, the importance of that. And so if you can donate and help, I would definitely have that information in the description. Definitely when we roll out the official fundraising when it starts next month, please participate in the way that you can to help do it. So thank you so much for joining me today at my podcast show. Thank you, Mathias. I really appreciate it. You did a wonderful job. You educated us. You motivated us. I'm looking forward to this next journey working with you in your school. So we can.
Thank you so much too. And there's one thing that I want to add in my closing remark. As indicated, this year is World Read Aloud Day on the 3rd of February, and then so my organization is working with about 50 schools for now. Last year we celebrated We celebrated the day with 21 schools, and this year we intended celebrating the World Read Aloud Day with 50 schools in Ghana. So as we speak, I'm coordinating all those schools, and then we are in those plans. And then when the day happens, we are going to update with a lot of pictures. And the World Read Aloud Day this year, we are going to make it massive and grand in Ghana.
Right. I love Ghana. I haven't been there yet. That's on my to-do list. All right. Sure. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news. Yeah. We're going to make this happen. Much for your positive attitude, your professionalism, and your passionate for reading and literacy and helping others. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today on my podcast show. See you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining me today with my podcast show and my guest interview, Mathias Tulasi from Ghana, and he's representing his school there, where we are kicking off a charity drive to get the needed resources that his school needs. I hope you enjoyed this particular part 2 of his interview. For the rest of this month of February 2021, we're going to focus on really highlighting the importance of literacy, the importance of reading to our children, reading to other people's children, identifying even adult literacy, and focusing on that, on the strategies that we can help one another to improve that statistic worldwide. So I hope you enjoyed this particular conversation. Please stay tuned for the rest of the days of this month of February. Consider to donate to Mathias School. He is on Twitter. I'm going to have all of that information in this link. We do have an event page as well where you can donate. So definitely consider that. We also will have another option where you can have a direct link to send a payment if you want to send funds there. If you want to send the actual resource that I'm about to list in a moment, you can do that as well. I'm going to have the address. Right now, we have the P.O. box listed. We definitely will provide an actual physical address if you want to ship items like the books that he mentioned, if you want to do that. And we want to make it an open drive that would be easier for people that want to reach out and want to contribute to his mission. He's very passionate about reading. I always have been as well. And I know that you're listening, that you are as well. Definitely know other people that can hone on this of the importance worldwide and from Africa into onward and all different other places and countries. Reading inspires us. Reading inspires others to dream and to want the best in life and to complete that circle of giving. The stories that we have read motivate us to be who we want to be and who we are. So at any rate, thank you so much for that. I want to go ahead and list out those resources that the school need right now, and let's get that. Provide the 7 needed resources that Mathias shared with me that the school is in need right now. The number 1 is having a library, and number 2, interesting storybooks that they use when they are implementing their program, going to different areas in town, meeting up the family with churches, what have you, and setting up like a presentation. And the interesting books does help to kind of motivate and encourage the engagement and learning to read. Number 3, computers. Donation of computers would definitely help. The funds to purchase computers. Number 4, a lab, so they can do different types of experiments and discussions of those experiments, getting all into that as well. Number 5, transportation. And he mentioned about transportation where they go around to different towns and they use different means themselves, but it would be nice to have like a van or something like that they can bring on more teachers and educators and volunteers as they go and set up shop. When they it's similar to like a how you travel from different towns or have a pop-up type presentation and get the children involved, the parents involved. So transportation is another need that he would love to have. If they can increase that and have that have the funds to be able to do that, to add on more transportation, to spread out more. Number 6, having like a projector. They like to project like different parts of the story that they're telling, to introduce them how books can be just as entertaining as watching television or being on your phone or what have you. So a presentation, even extra volunteers to speak will help when they do and go out on their programs where they get into the community. The number 7, he mentioned like a laptop. At least there's one laptop he was talking about that they will use when they go out in the field. So he mentioned that as well. All right, so those are the top 7 of needed resources. And with that said, I just want to thank you again for joining me today, and keep in touch. You can follow us on Twitter. Me and Mathias is on Twitter. You can follow us on WhatsApp. And to answer any questions during this month of the drive for his school, and even thereafter, after this month, to stay connected. Again, I appreciate you, and have a wonderful evening. Let's do this. Let's do this for the school. Let's do it for those children. And let's do it for those programs that they're already investing and have started and wanted to continue to add more schools. Let's make it all over that he needs to do to reach those families and reach those communities. Thank you so much for your support. Talk to you soon.